MiniWarGaming Speed the Cooler Bat Rap.
So here we are with Tau turn 4, and like before, we've got no reserves coming in, but the first fighter flies off the edge, and the second one, it does move up. It's sitting right on top of that flyer there. Basically, I want to shoot that Turfagon, get a few more wounds, and now my tanks, they all shimmy around, and that tank as well. He let me get away with it, but having actually read the rules, it is entirely legal for a tank to sit up on a bastion or on any battlements, so long as it's a skimmer tank and you can make it fit. Normally you'd have to take a dangerous terrain check, but my tanks have sensor spines, so they don't take those. But other than that, so long as you can place the model and there's no other units on the battlement, you are quite allowed to put your tanks up on top of stuff like that. So if you want a nice high line of sight, you could in theory bring bastions and put tanks on them. But anyway, then my fire warriors are all scattering about, running in every direction, getting a little bit of distance because Tyranids move real quick, and I don't want to get close enough, or I don't want him close so that he'll be able to actually get some wounds. So these fire warriors are just kind of shimmy them all around, trying to get them in formation. And then the Pathfinders actually come back out of hiding because I know that he's going to be moving towards me. I might actually get a few shots with these guys, and there is a Turfagon. Now out of the holes there, because there are firing points, they get a few Pathfinder shots, and they do mark the Turfagon. And now we fire the large missile that is on the fortress, hitting these guys in the back, but it does scatter and goes almost right on to the Turfagon and the Venom Throat, but it fails to wound either. The commander, shooting his bursting or fragmentator and his flamethrower, it scatters a little bit, but it does still hit quite a few gaunts. And his flamethrower, of course, just eats through them, so the entire unit of Termagants is destroyed from his one shot, or his two shots. And it does wound my Ascetic Spore as well. And then these guys, they start up with their flamethrowers and just start burning these gaunts, and they're all gone too. I had hoped to be able to shoot my Ascetic Spore, but I don't think I could do enough wounds, so I decided not to, and so I just killed them. Now we've got the other guns shooting at the railgun shooting at the Turfagon, but it failed to wound him. And now we've got the ion cannon. It did one hit and failed to wound him. And now we've got the other ion cannon shooting a Venom Throat, which it does hit and does do wounds, but he makes one, so he only takes one wound. And I boosted the blisses, or I used it to shoot a Seeker Missile off of my Barracuda, which hits, but it needed a 5 and failed. And now we've got some Fire Warriors shooting the Venom Throat, which in hindsight, I guess I should have shot these in different orders to ruin his day with the saves, but it's too late anyway. And now the Fire Warriors shoot at my Ascetic Spore, getting a couple hits, and they need 3s to wound, so they get a bunch of wounds, and this one pops. So that's another gooey mess that's all over this battlefield. The other Barracuda, it fires everything it's got into one of the nearby Turfagons and does a bunch of hits and wounds, but he does make a couple saves there and only goes down to 2 wounds. So I almost outright killed one, but well, maybe next time. And now we're moving my battlesuits around. The Devilfish, they went flat out, and so they moved up, and now the battlesuits themselves are all shimmering back into their little hole there, and the commander's running away because he doesn't want those gaunts to get to him. Tyranids turn 4 starts off, and now his Doom does come in. He puts it right next to the Bastion, and the difference with my Ascetic Spore from a drop pod is that they place within 2 inches. So normally you wouldn't be able to go right up onto the Bastion walls, but because it says place, they don't actually disembark and move. They just get placed. Unless that's not the same, leave your comment below on what you think about moving right on top of the Bastion, but from what we can see on the rules, he should be able to do that. He's using his Iron Skin now, giving himself another +2 toughness and strength on the first Turfagon, and then moving his gaunts around just to get more protected there. And now these gaunts are moving through cover just to move up a little bit as well. And of course, still wanting to hold the objective, but they want the twin link because they're all going to try and shoot down my plane now. And this one, it fails at Psychic check, so he takes a wound, but he still does get 2 more toughness, so he's toughness 8. And now the Doom sucks souls out of my Fire Warriors, but they do get cover saves for some reason, and so only one of them dies. And now the other guys, even though it can't see them, it still gets to try and suck them out, but they failed to do any wounds there. So now both the Turfagons are shooting at my flyer, and I do fail my Jinx, so it's down to 2 hull points left. And now he fires with the whole group of gaunts, and they get a bunch of hits and 2 glances, and I fail one, but I still have 1 more hull point. The other unit of gaunts, these ones are hitting on 6s, re-rolling 1s, and they need 6s to glance, they fail. The other group just hitting on 6s, glancing on 6s, and they fail as well. Now the Doom shoots its actual shot at the guard, or the fire warriors here, and it scatters 4 inches forward, and does a few wounds, and 1 of them dies, even though they do have their cover save, but 1 goes down. And the turret takes a wound, I believe. Which, there we go. So it takes a wound as well, and he takes D3 wounds, so he loses 3. And now my Set Explorer lashes out at the nearby fire warrior, but it doesn't do anything. These gaunts running, moving through cover, and the fire warriors passing their leadership. And that is the end of turn 4 for both Tyranids and Tau. Stay tuned for part 5 and see if the Tau can come back.